It's now live, my dear. Let's start with some prayer. Om Agadirogam Satata Nashaktam Asheshakaya Prashritam Ashesham Nautsu Kemoharatidam Jagana Yopurva Vaidyaya Namostu Tasma. Okay, dear, we can finish the shloka Brahma Muhurta Utishtit Swastorakshartam āyuṣaḥ Chari. No, not this one. Brahma smṛtvā āyuṣo vedam prajāpatiṃ soshunauto sahasraksham soti putradikam munim tegniveshadikam setu prittaktantrani nire. Now we are going for Hemadri's Ayurveda rasāyana. You can start, please.
So he wanted to start with a dialogue that Ayurvedasya śabdāntarānabhidheyatvaśaṅkāṃ nirākartuṃ purāvṛttaṃ darśayati. Purāvṛttaṃ means previous history. What is really the previous history? He wanted to express it here. For what purpose he is expressing? Nirākartuṃ, to block or to stop. What he wanted to stop? Śabdāntarānabhidheyatvaśaṅkāṃ. Shanka means doubt. He wanted to stop that shanka. He wanted to remove that shanka. Shanka means doubt, suspicion. What is that shanka? śabdāntarānabhidheyatvaṃ. śabdāntarānabhidheyatvaṃ. Shabda means the word. Antara means different. Anabhidheyatvaṃ. Why it is not told? Of whom? Ayurvedasya. See, Ayurveda would have been told with another word. Instead of Veda, some other word would have been used. Why it is not being used? If you have such a doubt, to remove that, he is giving an interpretation of the previous history of the Ayurveda. How he is telling? Brahmā smṛtvā. Brahma is recalling. Like this he starts. That means Brahma Ayurvedam smṛtvā. Lord Brahma is recalling Ayurveda and prajāpatiṃ. To Prajāpati. Who is Prajāpati? Dakṣam. Daksha, the Prajāpati. Ajigrahat. Make him understand. Ajigrahat is such a terminology. Make Daksha understood is the meaning. Grāhitavān, that is the right word. Grāhitavān. Made him to understand it. Is the meaning of grāhitavān. If it is grāhitavān, received. If it is grāhitavān, made him to receive, made him to understand. Once again, he is clearing it. Adhyāpitavān, taught. So, what is the meaning of grāhitavān? Adhyāpitavān, taught. So, what is the meaning of ajigrahat? Taught. So, ajigrahat means taught. Who taught whom? Brahma taught Daksha, the Prajāpati. How he taught it? Recalling the Ayurveda from its previous history. So by telling that, that is the reason Ayurveda is called Ayurveda, because it is Veda. Vedas are always apurusheya, not written by any human being. So even Brahma is recalling it means it is not written by anybody else. So it is getting the status of Veda status. That is why the terminology is Ayurveda. It cannot be called with any other names. So that is the reason Ayurveda is called Ayurveda. Shabda is added with the Ayus. This is the interpretation. Why Veda Shabda is interpreted with Ayurveda? They would have told āyuṣastra. Why they did not say āyurshastra? Why they used Ayurveda? Because Vedas are apurusheya. Ayurveda Shastra also is an apurusheya because Brahma smṛtvā is the word is used. So even Brahma, Lord Brahma recalled it means it was anadi and nitya. Thus, it can have the status like the other four Vedas. That is why Ayurveda is a terminology used. I hope it is clear.
Apurusheya is this
Apurusheya.
right? Like this?
Apurusheya means
Apurusheya.
Not written by anybody. Paurusheya means creation of a Purusha. Na Paurusheyam Apaurusheyam. Not being created by any individual.
Okay.
Okay. Now next para. Yeah.
Okay.
āyuṣo vetam iti asamasa Karanam. It is not Devam. You have made a spelling mistake. It is Vedam.
Just a minute. Okay, I'm arriving here. Tell me.
Vedam.
āyuṣo.
Vedam,
not
Vedam.
Devam. āyuṣo Vedam. Yeah, I should change the Devam to Vedam. Iti.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, just a second. āyuṣo.
Now, actually, there is, yes, well, that's all, that's all. Now, there is a rule that if there is Vigraha Vakya, that also Shashti Talpurusha, you can make it into a compound word. But the author does not want it to use a compound word in that particular sutra. Why you have made such a rule over there? āyuṣo Vedam, āyurvedam is the single word. Instead of using Ayurvedam, why did you use brahmā, smṛtvā, āyuṣo Vedam? You would have written brahmā, smṛtvā, āyurvedam. You would have told, instead of that one, āyuṣo Vedam. Why Vigraha Vakya as such used in the sutra? Asamasa karanam. Why samasa is not done? Why samastapada is not created? Reason is there. Ayurveda lakshana pratipadanatam. It is to explain. It is to explain what really there in the term Ayurveda. Lakshana means its nature. To show the nature or the content in the textbook, it is better to use the Vigraha Vakya instead of Samastapada.
This is to bring more importance to the components of Ayu. That you're saying, right?
Yes. So it is coming in the next line. āyuṣaḥ sambandhī Veda, not Deva. Change the Deva to Veda.
Okay, just a second. I have to find this now. āyurvedānti. Where is it? Read. Where is this? Ayurveda Lakshana Prati. Because I'm not following.
That is already we told. That the same line, second line. Sambandhī, āyuṣaḥ sambandhī. Not that. The same line after full stop.
Okay.
Sambandhī. After Sambandhī you see. After Sambandhī you see. You have typed Deva. Change that Deva to Veda.
Veda. Okay.
Yes. So āyuṣaḥ sambandhī. Sambandhī means related. Veda means the Vedam, the great Apaurushaya Pustaka. So that is why Ayurveda iti. This is the Vigraha Vakya. āyuṣaḥ sambandhī Veda, Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the Veda which is related to the Ayus. Sambandhascha. What do you mean by Sambandha? Related to Ayus. So what do you understand by the term Sambandha? Palya palaka lakshanaha. Palya means how to protect. Palaka, who has to protect. Who, how is the relation. Who, how has to protect his life. That's the meaning. Uktam hi sangrahe. It is told in ashtanga sangraha, sutra sthana, adhyāya, and sloka number 1. āyuṣaḥ pālagam. Who is āyuṣaḥ pālagam? Vedam, upavedam, adharvanaha. Vedam, it is not Devam.
Again. Let me find.
Last part.
Okay. Devam, Vedam.
That is Vedam, Upavedam.
Okay.
Correct. Upavedam, adharvanaha. Vedam, āyuṣaḥ pālagam. Pālagam means protector of Ayus. Who is that? Vedam, the Veda.
Okay.
And which is that Veda? Upavedam adharvanaha. It is the Upaveda, secondary part of the Atharva Veda, main Atharva Veda. So this is a supplement in Atharva Veda. So thus it can be called as the Ayurveda terminology. Come on, next para.
Wait. This connection to the Vedas comes by the idea that one who protects his life is more suitable to understand, follow the Vedas.
Yeah, all the four Vedas are for the protection of the human being. This particular Veda for the protection of Ayush. Thus the Veda Shabda can be added along with the Ayush Shabda here. And it is not the main Veda, it is the Upaveda of the Atharva Veda. It is a supplementary Veda of Atharva Veda. That is why whenever we learn, we will never say that there are 5 Vedas. We'll say only 4 Vedas.
And the other Vedas, there are going to be other
Upavedas. But they are getting the status Veda because they are the protectors of the human race. Here, they are the protectors of the health of the human race. That's all.
Okay. And the other Upavedas are going to be about dancing, war. There is going to be a Upaveda for each Veda, right?
So many.
Not necessarily one for each.
Even Arthashastra can be called as Veda. Okay. Natyashastra can be called as Veda.
Okay. It's not one for each. Okay, that was the question.
Yeah.
Sa.
Coming to the Saha. Saha means he. He means here the Brahma. Prajāpatiṃ. Sorry. Prajāpatiṃ. He the Prajāpati, because Brahma gave to Prajāpati. So Saha means Prajāpatiṃ. Ashvinau. Ashwini Kumaras are the 2 great physicians of the Vedic age. And what they have, Ashvinau, Ayurvedam. That Ashwini Kumaras, Ayurvedam, Ajigrahat. They took it from the Prajāpati. Ashwini Kumaras took it from the Prajāpati. Tau Ashwinam, those Ashwini Kumaras, what they have done? Sahasraksham Ajigrahatam. They made Sahasraksha. Who is Sahasraksha? Lord Indra. So they made Lord Indra to receive it, to take it, to study it. Saha Indraha. Now it reached up to Indra. Then what that Indra is doing, what he has done? Atriputradigan Munin Ajigrahat. He made the group of saints in the family of Atri, his putras and his putra, etc. The race of Atri Muni. He made them to study this Veda. Now it has come to the level of the saints who are there on the earth for the benefit of the mankind. So Atri is considered to be the first saint who received the Ayurveda from the divine beings. You know, Atri is taking it from Indra, who is the lord of the gods. Now that Atri, Putra, that family, that race, the last Atri has got 6 disciples, that is Agniveshātikan, begins from Agnivesha, Agnivesascha Vedascha, Jatukarna Parasharaha, Haridaha Ksharavanischa. Like this 6 disciples were there. This Muni made them to take it. So from Atri's family, it is entering into the disciples, 6 disciples of Atri. So he made them to understand, he taught them the whole Ayurveda. Now what this what this Agniveshātika has done, te punaha, again those Agniveshātikas, Agniveshataya, Pruthak means pratyegam, of their own individual. 6 disciples, their own individual. Tantrani means Shastra Granthani, the Samhidas. They have written their own. Tenire means Virachayam Chakruhu. Virajayati means writing. So Tenire means writing. They wrote their own Samhidas. So like this, 6 Samhidas came in the form of texts or scripts for Ayurveda. This is the beginning of the textual creation of the Ayurveda. So who was the first one to write it? Agnivesha is the first one, because he was the first and foremost disciple of Atri. So the very first Samhita written in the form of textbook can be considered as Agnivesha Samhita. But Agnivesha Samhita is nothing but the collection of the subject matter taught by Atri to Agnivesha and the other 6 disciples. And the other 5 disciples also have written their own books from the teachings of Atri. Like this, the textual history started right from Agnivesha in Ayurveda. Till then, it was from ear to ear, mouth to mouth transfer of the Veda. Samkshepartham Ayurvedam. Samkshepartham means for briefen it. What they have decided, śabdāntarānabhidheyatvaśaṅkāṃ. They have given a single term for complete understanding. They, such a way they have given the name Ayurvedam for this science. I hope clear?
Yes, I have just a question. Because yesterday I was listening about Dhanvantari Trayodashi and the history about Dhanvantari of Kashi and so on.
Yes.
And in some lineages, people put the Bharadwaya and others, but the lineage from Brahma to some point is the same. The difference that when we have the Atri or Atreya Punarvasu school, it's going to go for one trend. And when we have the Sushruta and Dhanvantari, we are going to go to Bharadwaya and others, but the primordial lineage is going to be kind of for the clinical branch and chirurgical branch. Is it so? Is this understanding okay?
Actually, that and all later interpretations of the people. Dhanvantari is only for the surgical or Shalya Shastra. Because the believers of Shalya Shastra interpreted the term Dhanvantari as Dhanvoho Antam Richati, one who reached the end of Dhanu Shastra. Dhanu Shastra can be taken as a paryaya of Shalya, because Shalya is also a weapon and this is also a weapon. That is why they interpreted the term Dhanvantari in that way. But when you go for the term Dhanvantari, Dhanu means a Shastram. Shastram means to kill the enemies. So who is the enemy now in the mankind? Diseases are the enemy who attacked the mankind. So Dhanvantari means a person has reached the other shore of the medical science, which is a weapon to kill the enemy Roka. Actually, such a meaning is there. And moreover, the term Dhanvantari is given for Lord Shiva. And one of the Dhanvantari in the Vikramadisya Sadas and Divodasa. There are so many people are having the terminology Dhanvantari, even those who are not specialized in Shalya Chikitsa. So the term
just like the word Rishi means the one who has crossed the ocean of knowledge successfully. Dhanvantari is one who crossed the ocean of diseases successfully.
Medical science. So that is what is the meaning you can take. Such a way when you take, Dhanvantari is a very broader term. When you give the Dhanva only for Shalya, then it goes to the surgical Susrudas, that class of teachers and Vaidyas and the schools. So that term is very broader terminology.
Just again, once the Nirukti of Dhanvantari.
Dhanvoho Antam Richati.
Okay, the Richati is the same. Okay.
Antam means the other end. Richati means reaches.
Yes.
One who reached the other. Okay.
But this Dhanvoho is which vibhakti?
Dhanu Shabda Shashti Vibhakti Ekvachanam. Uganada. Yoho. Vayo.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, dear. Let's finish today and happy Dhanvantari Trayodashi, Diwali, and so on. Om Vasudevaya Vidmahe Vaidyarajaya Dhimahe Tanno Dhanvantari Prachodayat. Om. Okay. I'll finish this and I'll make a other question, but just a quick question. Let me see how I finish this.